G'day everyone, welcome back. This is the third part of this creation and I'm really excited now because I know what it turned out to look like. But at this stage I am just kind of trying to fit this sculpture onto my piece. So I'm just taping the board. And I'm actually double taping in some areas because some areas are going to be elevated a little bit with the sculpture being the way it is. So I don't want any resin sort of seeping down, and you just have to sort of be prepared for these things. So I'm just going around with clear resin. I've only got a little bit mixed, maybe about 50 milliliters, which is about a 1.5 ounce, and I'm just going around with my finger now, gloved finger of course, and just spreading that around, and I'm ready now to place my piece. And oh my god, here's the resistance. It is just fitting beautifully in there. And the reason why I put that resin down first was obviously to stick this sculpture onto the piece. And I had to maneuver it a little bit just to make sure that you can still see my dragon, especially the bottom of the dragon, his head and all that sort of stuff. So it all worked out well. And just going around with resin, whatever I had left in that little cup, and just going around the edges and making sure that sort of sticks. And I'm just going around and just making sure that every little crevice is kind of saturated with that resin, although I didn't have a lot of resin there, but I had enough, and sometimes less is more, and I didn't want to mix too much resin because I just have too many coasters and jewelry pieces and things like that I'm probably never gonna do anything with. So anyway, just going around with that clear resin and just pouring some very gently and carefully over the tips and edges of that wave, just to give it extra, like a water splash kind of look. And I know, like, a lot of the times you don't really see it happening at the time, but it all adds. Okay, we're back. It's actually been 6 hours since I've done this, and you know what? Today has been such a weird day. It's been warm and then cold and then warm again, but look, this is still pretty sticky. I should probably put my gloves on, you guys. See if I can pull it out. Twirl this. Fold it rather than twirl it. Duh. My English is getting worse. I haven't been speaking to too many people. Oh dear. Okay, so see that? That's actually really cool because you can sort of do stuff with that. And anyway, I'm just going to pull it like that and get rid of this one. I lick my finger a little bit and I used to do that with my nails. If I mess them up, I just lick my finger and fix it up. You just don't go back in your mouth with those fingers. Righto, so I'm going to need gloves for this one for sure. Both gloves. Sometimes I just put one on, but I do need both for this one because it might be a little bit tricky. So here's what I did here. To be honest, I can't remember if I did this on or off camera. So I've just got some plastic, crinkled it up a little bit, and then put some liquid tint mixed in with some resin. And this is pretty sticky too, but that's okay because I can stick it on here now, and because I had it sort of curved, and hopefully it'll work. And if it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to improvise. Let's see if I can stretch this one. Okay, where is it? Where's the sticky bits? Is that sticky? No, that's the other side. What side is up? What side is down? That's down. Oh boy, hang on. Yeah, that is down. That's all right. So what I wanted is just to put some texture on my wave here, and I just want to stick this on there. And this being plastic, it should come off fairly easy. Well, we'll see, won't we? But I'm stretching it now a little bit, so I want to get it in here. It just gives you a little bit of texture and a bit of like an illusion of the actual, you know, wave. So let's go all the way up this guy, like that, and like that, and like this. Alright, and that's sort of stuck on there now. And I am hoping and I am praying that it will stick. I'm sure it will stick because resin sticks to resin. But will it? Yeah, that's down there. That's fine. But will it come off? That is the question. I'm just going to play with it a little bit. I'm happy with it down here. Up here, I might move it up a little bit. So see how sticky that is? Yeah, here we go. Like that. That's what I want. I want it sort of starting from this fella, kind of from his neck, and then it turns into this wave. And it should, when I pull it off, like I said, praying, it should come off. And if some of the, you know, pieces come off or stay on the plastic, that's fine, because I can just resin them back in there. So now I'm going to leave this because it's stuck nicely. This is definitely more advanced, a little bit hard for the newbies to do, but newbies can learn. And then one day, when they feel confident enough to play with sculpturing and doing things like that, then yeah, you should remember to come back to this video. Anyway, I'm going to leave it now. Make sure that is recording, and yes, it is, thank goodness. And then yeah, my guys and my see, what I wanted to do is I just rushed a little bit and popped this sculpture on. I wanted to add a little bit of white to this pink and make it like a splash. So I might be able to still do that. Let's see. We'll find out tomorrow, won't we? Okay. Bye for now. Okay, it's the next day, and let's see what's going on. I actually haven't checked, you guys, so let's see. Oh, wow, okay. Some of it is staying down there. Oh, that still feels a bit soft. Oh, is it? No. It's not soft. Sorry, my bad. That's just the plastic. I'm panicking already. Okay, so some of the things are sticking out a bit. I'm just going to try not to rip it. Oh, wow, look at that. Okay. I will edit this and zoom in so that you can see. But I will definitely come. I'm pleasantly surprised that most of this is actually staying on my sculpture, and I've only got little bits and pieces which I'm going to save. Little bits and pieces are staying on my plastic. I just thought, you know, I thought it was going to be most of it, you know, staying on the plastic, but look at that. Okay, so that bit sort of come off a bit. Wow, what an interesting way to do this. And the plastic is coming off really beautifully. I mean, it's coming off of the resin beautifully. So look at that. Some of the bits still feel a little bit soft. Wow, this is really interesting, you guys. And look, so most of it is off. Where am I? Which is top, which is bottom again, because it's so transparent, it's hard to tell. So this is all that was left on the actual plastic, which is quite fine, because I will go around with resin and maybe just drizzle some and try to, wow, that is so amazing. Push that over there a bit, push it in, maybe even tape it. That, I'm really impressed with that, you guys. I will come, oh, there's a bit to come off. So all of these little bits, I can pop them off like that, and then find a spot where I think that I might have like a gap or something that doesn't look finished. But this is all that's left. Look at that, looks like little shards of blue glass, but it's still soft, you know, and pliable, so it's not going to cut me. But when this sets completely, could be quite dangerous. So that's why I've got to make sure that I've got it right. See, bits here, that's where I want to pop these. And I could even just glue them on, but I do have some UV resin, which works beautifully with the UV lamp, you know, it glues on real quick. But oh wow, I am so excited about this. Now I'm going to go like this and tip, see if anything comes off. Whoop. Just a couple of little pieces, and that is it, my friends. Wow. Right, so I do want to deal with this area here, and I'm going to do that next, but first I just want to bring you down. Okay, guys and gals, let's go down. I really hope that you can see this. See that? I'm just going to go that. The light is really helping. Look at that. Doesn't it just give you like an illusion of movement in that water? And I'm glad that I did it in this teal rather than the blue, because it really stands out now. Oh, how exciting. Okay guys, so I've flipped it around, so just so that you can sort of see from this angle. There's my beautiful seal, here's all that stuff, and then there goes the wave. And there's my dragon, there's his head, and look at that wave. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? You can see underneath there, and that splash looking like thing, and all of that glorious texture. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm just really excited about this one. You're allowed to get excited about, you know, when you do something right? Okay, so I went around and placed the tape over the edges, because I will be pouring some more resin, and some areas are I've doubled up just to give it extra support. This is just masking tape, and I do have something here that I've got to make sure that the masking tape, the double parts, are stuck to each other. So I don't want resin leaking in between there. That's not a good thing. So just where these bits are a little bit raised, it will be sliding over the sculpture, because I don't want to wreck my sculpture, but I do want to, you know, add some more of those little shards of looks like frozen water, I suppose, like ice or something. So because I've been touching this so much, I'm going to use pure alcohol. Well, this is 99% alcohol, and I'm just going to go around and clean the resin top so that where I've been touching, you know, it's not going to affect the piece, but it definitely will help with those horrible, you know, dimples that you get in there because I've been touching it so much, trying to, you know, maneuver this tape around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of my egg, and the way I'm going to do that, I'm not going to be pouring. Oh, maybe I should. I was just going to sort of colour it in with acrylic and then pour a little bit of resin in there because I don't want too much resin. I've got, you know, I just got to be very careful and think about how I'm going to go about things and do it the safest way so I don't wreck my sculpture and my piece. So, right, I'll be back shortly. Yep, I decided to colour him in. My egg here, see? So I found a blue that's going to be right. This is just acrylic. Actually, I could even mix it in with a, because there's white underneath there, I might need to put a couple of coats. And then that'll be, this is Cool Blue by Global. It's a little bit like cobalt. Both, so I'll let it sit. Yeah, because I don't want to use the same colour mixed in with resin, just in case it starts running into my dragon here. This is what happens when you're doing things sort of back to front. But I'm not really, well, I am doing things back to front. But that is only because I've been getting ideas of what to do as I've been doing it. And resin can be quite difficult at times to achieve what you want to achieve. So I'll wait a little bit for this to dry and then I'll apply another layer. Okay, so I'm just popping in some of these little shards, which are very flexible still. It's been quite cool. It's supposed to be spring. We had some really hot days, and now this. I do want to do something here because I think this guy needs a little bit something like that. So I'm going to leave. Actually, that looks good there. Just gives his head a little bit of a better shape, I think. And I've got a few more little ones here that I can see. These ones I can even break them up. I've got some small ones I can pop it. Ah, not supposed to do that. My paint's still a bit wet, so I'm sticking it in while it's still wet. See, you can't even tell there was an egg in there. Maybe pop another one over here, or maybe not. Right, so just playing around with this now. Anyway, I'll be back. And I'm also going to tone down some of this pink just along the edge here. I'm just dabbing. See what happens. I think it just needs to be a continuous flow. And try to get there. It doesn't matter if I get some on my tape. It's all good. So now I'm going to go around with the, I just want to make sure that the edge is really dark, and then I will go around with my, got to look right in there, tape does not help, and sorry, keep getting sidetracked with my thoughts, which is quite exciting, get the old brain working. And while that's still wet, I just want to dab it with my trusty, see, because I'm trying to take some off now. And yes, the resin will cover that, and that'll be no problem. But see how that sort of, well, I hope it does. And I can't reach in here. what I want to do. Okay, so that sort of toned it down a little bit for me, and I'll wait for that to dry, and then I'm going to go around the edge again because I want the edge to be darker than what it is. And yeah, whew, how exciting. Now I'm going to mix some resin, and let's see. Well, not done yet. So I've just got some of this real teal tint, and I'm just dabbing some down here on the lighter areas. Let's get some more of that on my board here. Oops, I could mix it with a bit of white, just acrylic, but that's all right. I don't mind it being, because I will get some white in here. It's just to me it needs a little bit of that lovely teal color, and once I get the green, my angel white over it, that'll fix that darkness sort of thing. But it does need, I know I really wanted to use that beautiful taffy pink, but didn't work out. I might just leave a little blob of it. But look at that, how much better it is, because that's the one that I used here in resin, and I'm using it here on my own, on its own. You can do that, so no problem whatsoever with doing that. And once I get my bugger it, I just keep going. Sometimes you just have to keep going with stuff, you know. But what I was saying is, these liquid pigments, you can paint with them directly on your board, and yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing here. And they'll wash out, they're clean in water, and there you go. I will get some deep dark blue tint. Which one was it that I used, you guys? Was it sky blue? I think it was a sky blue. I might just use that, and then just it will seep through. Oh, let's see. Let's pop it over here. Don't want to water it down, because I think that'll work better for my edge. Yeah, look at that. Yep, it's going into my tape. Not worried. Okay, excuse me. So I just went around with my sky blue. Even though these liquid tints are transparent, but when you use them like that, they you know, they can be quite give you a nice deep color, and that's what I wanted over here. And what this will do, still wet, it will just stain. It will stain that resin. And also I went around the bottom here and created a little bit of like a shadowy part there, just because I had some on my brush, and no particular reason. I know it looks like little blotches, but that's all right, because I'm going to be using the clear and the white up here. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm just going to let this dry properly. Don't want to play with it anymore, but just another way to use your tints. G'day folks, I am back. It's been another day. I just didn't have a chance to finish this yesterday. So, but anyways, it's sitting there nicely. It's doing its thing. I've got my resin mixed up. I only got 100 milliliters. And I've got a little cone here that I made just with paper, you know, label paper, because it's nice and kind of smooth on the inside of it. And the paper part is on the outside, so it should work well. I've tried it before, and I'm just going to put a little bit of white in there. I only mixed a tiny little bit of white, and it's really hard to mix your paste when you're using a tiny little amount. So I taped the bottom a little bit so it doesn't leak, because I just want to get ready and get it prepared. I'm just going to plonk it in there and let it sip into the cup. And while I'm doing that with my resin, I'm just going to drizzle it. Let me just go up a little bit because I don't want to get it all over me. I'm just going to drizzle a bit over here because it's nice and wet. Some areas I really want them to set, like those shards that I've put extra ones in there. So I want them to set nicely, and some areas I've got gaps in here. And I'm being very careful not to overdo it. So if I overlap these, obviously they will bleed, sort of run into each other, and then that'll leave me with a blob, and I don't want a blob. But down here I do need a little bit extra resin in there. The reason why I don't want a blob, because I don't want to ruin my sculpture. I still want to have those, but they look a little bit dangerous at the moment. I'm just going over his head a little bit, and probably that will be all that I will be doing here, just like that. Okay, need a little, how's my thing going? Good. Now over here I wanted to create a little wave, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of clear in here, and then I'm going to put the white, but I don't want to go up here, because when I blow it, it's going to go too far up, so I just want to be kind of here. And then down here, when I put my white on there, so I can sort of do that whole area now. Just so when I put my white down and start blowing it, I sort of don't want it going too far up, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I sped this part up by two times the speed, only because it just went on and on and on, and it was really hard to kind of dissect this this video, because a lot of the things that I was saying I think are important. So I'm going to try and mention things as I go. So what I did, what I'm doing right now is I'm just adding some of the clear just over those little shard kind of pieces, and making sure that they are sealed in their own little spot. And I'm thinking about adding some clear over that white area there. So anyway, that was just what I was thinking at the time, because I was pointing at it, so that's what I figure I was thinking. And now just figuring out how to use this little cone, and it worked out really well actually, and it's just so cheap. You don't have to actually buy the piping bags, and I find piping bags quite difficult to use, but because they're soft. But this works out really well, and I'm just going, I've got a really thin stream going, and I am going over those little shard bits. When I said before that it could be quite dangerous, and because they're quite sharp, so I was that's what I was referring to, being dangerous. So I made sure to cover them with some clear resin, and then just go over it a little bit with really light streams of white, just to create that the flow and the illusion of the light kind of catching the wave, and you can see a bit of white in the wave, and not just in the foam but in the actual wave as well. So that's what I was trying to create. And now I just piped a little bit of that white onto over my clear. I did it the whole thing, and I was Really, really happy with it. But then when I started watching the video, I thought, you know what? I think this white part here is really taken away from my wave, my sculptured wave. And I would really like to know what you guys are thinking. And if you want to sort of tell me how do you feel about that white being there? Because I'm seriously thinking about going over it again with the dark and just having that dark underneath, like that dark deep blue, and just having a wave over the top of it. Yeah, sometimes you just don't see things when you're doing it, but when you have a look at it afterwards, you're thinking, oh gosh, why did I do that? You just added too much. And considering that I said less is more, I went against my own words. So, I mean, it does look okay, but, you know, just sometimes, oh gosh. Anyway, so I'm adding this little splash here, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that being white. So I made sure to, you know, kind of control the movements and have that clear not run too far towards my little seal there, because I really did not want the white to merge in with the seal. I really wanted that separation there. So just going around now full blast with my heat gun, creating some really nice kind of wavy foamy cells there, and it looks great. But like I said at the time, really excited, but now thinking maybe it's a bit too much. So just carrying on now, just adding a little bit more of that white, pulling it out, and it all changes, you know, because the resin will do its own thing. It'll move and it'll do its own thing. So you have to, as an artist, be there to watch it, pay attention, and it's not like just pouring and then leaving it and going covering your piece and then going away and then coming back the next day. This is a different type of art, different type of technique. You have to be present, come in and check things for the first few hours, and then after that it's pretty much too late to do anything with it. But within that first couple of hours, actually, you can still add things and still change things around, and which is what I did. So I'm adding a little bit of those streaks of white in that area there, and I really like that as well. I think it adds to those little water sort of splashes and shards that I've kind of glued on there with resin. That adds to, and you can see the movement, this sort of circular movement. It looks really good. I keep looking at this guy. He just I don't know how this happens. Sometimes these things just happen, and it's amazing. And you just got to accept it, and you know, just say, wow, this was meant to be like this. So not happy with the complete piece, but very happy with my dragon and my seal and my sculptured wave, and definitely with those extra textured pieces that I added to it with the plastic. That was really, really good, and I will be using that technique again to add texture because it just works, and it's just so easy. You just get some plastic, and don't use the cling wrap. It's too thin. Use a little bit of a thicker kind of plastic, not too thick. You know, you still got to be able to work it, and just crinkle it up, and then pour your resin, tape it, whatever, to keep it in place. And yeah, just when it sets, it just gives you these really, really cool textured pieces that that you can add to whatever you're working on. I really like it. I'm actually thinking about something. I'm not going to say it out loud because somebody will go and do it. But yeah, I'm going to keep that one to myself. It's another exciting idea that I have in my head right now. And so yeah, just playing here, adding more. This is going back and forth. You can fast forward this because I'm at the moment this piece is done. I'm just going back and forth and adding more heat, pulling those lines with my skewer, and just creating some more movement and some more kind of dimension. So yeah, just going around with a little bit more of that white. I felt like it needed some more white there. God knows why, because now I regret it. But anyway, we'll see towards the end. At the moment, the whole thing is setting, and tomorrow morning I'm going to go and take the tape off, and then I should probably just go right now and take the tape off, so the resin will relax over the edges, and then tomorrow decide what to do. But I will definitely take some photos. I'm not going to torture you with you know, any more of this sort of piece. I will take some close-up photos, maybe take it outside so you can see the shimmer of that beautiful crushed glass over the wave and my gorgeous seal here. And then I will be waiting for your feedback and waiting for you to tell me, what do you think? Should I ditch that white that I'm working on right now, or should I leave it there? Because I think I lose that contrast between my wave and the actual sea by adding that white. I thought it was going to be like a continuation thing. Yeah, I'm just telling you what I'm thinking. But I think this is it from me, because I'm just fiddling around, adding more clear and pushing those waves, because they see how they sneaky little thing trying to get in there. So I'm just adding more clear in between the seal and the wave, and that sort of pushes that white up and it creates that separation. So I had to do that a few times, and that is it, my friends. That is it. Blow the bubbles out. Now notice I'm not torching this area. I don't care about the bubbles there, and I don't want them to run. I'm just torching around here. Right, so now I just want to put a little bit of something tiny and just lift this up a bit, because I don't want this. Just a tiny little bit, because that'll really help push this over that way. And then I'll just keep watching it. That's looking good. Such an operation. And sometimes you just got to put in your time and effort and a little bit of imagination. And I just want to add a little bit more here, so it goes underneath my seal. Go under there. Maybe a little bit over here. Just pushing it down. Because he was hit by this wave, or he rather created the wave, so it needs to be wet a little bit, you know. Right, well that's it from this guy, and that's it from me. Just got to watch this thing wants to come up now. Just use the clear, push it down. See, and just keep watching there, pushing it up and pushing it down. Alright, this guy's good. Right, so that is it, my friends. I will come back every so often just to make sure that everything's good. And then I will see you tomorrow morning when it all sets and I can take some close-up shots for you guys. Ooh, see what it does? Beautiful. Okay, leave it alone now. Bye. Okay, here we go. Oh, I am so happy with this one. It is done. I absolutely love this water feature, and of course the camera is not picking up on all the texture. I'm going to try and see that one there. Gosh, that's so cool. The texture is amazing, and this guy looks amazing too. Looks a little bit scary, but he's really loving. See, he's just offering a friendly hug, and yeah, my dragon looks quite peaceful there. I'm real happy. The only thing I was worried about before was this white area. If that was dark, I think my wave would have popped out a little bit more. So just let me know, what do you think? Should I keep the white wave or should I get rid of it and make that dark blue like that one there, and then have this one kind of featured? Don't know, but I'm real happy with this one. The texture is amazing, and yeah, real happy, real happy.